Hi, you guys, and welcome to our Tuesday night class. It's always exciting to join here with you guys and to be able to bring information and content so that you can, know what to do with your oils before you have them, or if you have them in your house, or maybe for you, it's being able to help somebody with something that you had no idea that we could use essential oils for. I remember the first experience that I had really heard about essential oils, and this was I was visiting a friend who was super, super sick. And people had gone over to her house and said, you know what, we heard that you're sick. Let us just try this for you and see if it helps. It's something similar to a massage, but yet the oils will do the work. And I wasn't there. This is just the story that she told me, but she said, they had me just lean over the couch, and then in a series of oils, they put them one at a time on my back and then in on her scalp. And she said, and like I said, she was super sick at the very beginning. And so she said, gosh, if I'm going to die, I want to die feeling like that. And they had simply done an aroma touch technique on her and let the oils do the work, and it was absolutely something that changed her life. And because of that experience that she had, that is what introduced me to oils, which through a series of different people, that's probably how you ended up here too. So I absolutely love AromaTouch. I feel like it is something that you can offer to people when you don't know what else to do. And it's very, very simple. And we're going to describe it and tell you more about it as we go through our class tonight. But the other one I want to just kind of highlight real quick is Symphony of the Cells. Both of them are light applications of essential oils, usually to your back. Some of them might be on your neck, your feet, on your scalp, and it doesn't take a professional license to be able to give this. This is something that is intended for anyone that can basically comprehend what they're doing to be able to do oils. I have another story where I had a gal who has MS, and she had gotten an aroma touch, and it was something that had really given her some great relief with some of the symptoms that she was going through. And so I was a trainer back in the day, and her daughter at the time was 12 years old. And we had her come and get certified so that she would be able to give this application to her mom, because her mom was somebody who wanted to be able to have one once a week, and in some cases, even more often. Now, one of the biggest questions that we get from this is, what is the difference between Aroma Touch and Symphony of the Cells? All right, buckle in, guys. We're going to go and we're going to learn more about this. Okay, and if you guys are joining us for the first time, or if you're watching the replay or have any questions, make sure you put them in the chat. We have people here who are very qualified on answering, and at the end of class, we'll have a time where we can answer those questions. And so make sure you stay on till the very end, because we'll be asking for testimonials and different experiences that you might have had that will benefit and help others in how they can learn the Aroma Touch and Symphony of Cells. So I love this quote: time and health are two precious assets that we don't recognize or appreciate until they have been depleted. I don't think there's more truer statement of when we have, there's another one, we have 1,000 dreams to live until we don't have our health, and then we have one dream. And so I love that we are able to be proactive in learning how and what to use. I love that doTERRA is really dedicated to not only finding us products, but to make sure that they are being sourced at the best places with, nothing added to them, nothing taken away from them, but gives us products that we are able to use with confidence for our whole family. And I just have this picture of the clock up here in the diffuser, and, a reminder of time does fly. Time goes by very, very quick. And sometimes we get to just say, you know what, it's time to stop, take a deep breath. I'm going to use the quote, smell the roses, and really make yourself a priority. Okay, so I wanted to really highlight, before we go too much deeper in, why I use doTERRA. There are so many different essential oil companies out there, and because quality is so important, Like, I am a true believer in you get what you pay for. And I love that doTERRA is different because we have no fillers, no synthetics, no chemicals. We don't add dyes and different fillers and things like that. And there's no dilution except for our roller bottles. There is some dilution, but that is for our convenience to have them perfectly diluted for everyone in our household. Our essential oils come from plants and they are grown in their ideal environment, which means we're not trying to grow lavender in the dusty hills of Elko, Nevada, nor are we trying to grow lemon in the wild west of Wyoming. And there's a reason for that is when you have a product that is grown in its natural environment, it is going to be more potent. It's going to be way better than anything that you can source from different places. I actually love that doTERRA sources from around the world because there's a lot of places in other countries that they have no GMOs, right? They don't put chemicals and pesticides and things on stuff. And that is very, very important to me because whatever is around the plant, including the soil or sprays and chemicals, goes into the plant. And then that is where it gets mixed in with that essential oil. So we have over 54 tests to make sure that all the way along, from the time that they plant the seed to the plant grows, till when they harvest it, to the containers that it goes into, to once they get the oil, then they put it into a carrier truck or a carrier um, product, and then they give it to us. And they keep testing it all the way along the way to make sure that there hasn't been any kind of contaminants or anything has altered what's in the bottle. I love that we also use both sides of the bottle. So not only are we benefiting from this, whatever is in the bottle, but the people who have grown the products are also benefiting. And probably my favorite thing is they can be used topically, aromatically, and in most cases, they're not only safe to take internally, but they're recommended. So you'll notice that every single bottle of doTERRA has CPTG, which is certified pure tested grade oil on it. And I love that every time I crack open that bottle, especially because I only buy it from doTERRA, I would never buy an essential oil from a yard sale or Amazon or anywhere else because you never know what's been put in the bottle. But I love that when I crack the bottle open, I can trust that it is safe for myself and my family. Okay, so I wanted to just put this in here real quick. Tonight is all about self-care, taking care of ourselves, doing some things, taking the time to make sure that we are being good to our bodies because our bodies are something that again, we just wake up every morning and hit the pavement and expect it to work for us. And just to be able to have thankfulness and gratitude. And I love the frankincense stick. If you guys have tried this stick or use it yourselves, please tell us in the chat what you love most about it. So here are 4 of the top benefits. So if you haven't had the frankincense stick yet, what we know about frankincense is when in doubt, you get the frankincense out. And now they put it in a really great stick formula, which not only stays topical longer, but it's very easy to apply. So if you have different, whether it's a skin issue or maybe you're, working on sleep um, or joint pain, you can put essential oils on first, wait for a second, and then put the stick over the top. And it's not only going to help it hold to the surface longer, but it has a magical blend of Nile wood and frankincense. It's just going to leave your skin feeling amazing. I love this. I use it every single day. I usually target areas that have, maybe some dark spots or some old scars, and it's been incredible the results that I've been getting. Okay, so now we're going to jump into Symphony of Cells versus the AromaTouch technique. So on the top here, we have the Symphony of Cells booklet, and I'll tell you at the end of class where you can go to get these products. You can actually, follow them on social media, and he does a lot of live trainings around the world. And so watch for that. I've got a website for you at the end. And then we have AromaTouch technique. I'm going to pull your attention to the chart on the bottom left-hand side. So most all of us have some of these things that our bodies are dealing with on a daily basis. Anyone here ever deal with stress? How about toxic insult, which is where we're exposed to some kind of toxicity in one way or another? And we know from our classes, there are so many different ways, right? Everything from emotions to the people we hang out with, to just driving down the street, to the products that we're using in our bathrooms. Well, not mine, but some people, highly scented perfumes and things. We also have inflammation. So, inflammation is something that most of us deal with in our bodies in one way or another, and it is the root of all dis-ease. So, we definitely want to pay attention to that. And then being autonomic and imbalance. So, because we're usually in a place where there's constant chaos, or maybe you're constantly feeling drained, or things are pulling at you on both all different levels. So some of these things, you guys, are things that to affect our nervous system, and the way we sleep, the way we show up, the way our bodies recover from being around, if we've got some kind of illness or something. So when we look at the aroma touch technique specifically, we have 4 different areas that we target. So we're going to go into describing those in just a second. Okay, but first, I wanted to show you these different charts. I absolutely have fallen in love with reflexology. So anytime I run into somebody and they go, "Oh, it's so stinky, like I don't want to go around smelling like a pizza, but I've got XYZ and nothing's working." I'm like, "Perfect. Let's look up the symptom. What are you going through? Let's find the best part of our body that it will support, and then let's look at this reflex chart for your feet, and we can target that oil in that spot." You guys, if you look, everything from your eyes to your brain to your pancreas, your kidneys, elbow, I mean, you name it, every organ in our body is reflected on our feet. Our feet are also the largest pores, so it's really easy to apply any type of oil, whether it's a hotter one, or if you have somebody who has sensitive skin, or like I said, they just don't want the scent, then you can always go to the feet. And then guess what? You put the oils on, and then you go ahead and you put your socks on or whatever. And so the same reflex points are located on your hands. And both of these diagrams show that really clear. If you want your own charts, just go to Google and you can Google charts, and they have some really amazing ones that you can get. And then I'm also going to show on the right-hand bottom corner our vertebrae down our spine. So many of those areas are still shown up on the spine. And so when we're using the AromaTouch technique or Symphony of the Cells, you'll find that we apply oils down the spine to the feet. We can do a hand technique, but that's not in the normal treatments. And then you also can, of course, do the head. And it's so amazing that you just put a few drops of oil down the spine, and then there is a specific way that we do the aroma touch. All right, so the aroma touch technique. You guys, here are the essential oils that are in there. So we have 2 that address stress and rest management. So balance and lavender. My first gateway oil, balance, was the one that kind of drew me in. And it's because I had been living in a place of chaos for quite a while. I always felt like I was, on edge, and the biggest things didn't bother me. It's the little things that would trigger me. And so when I first opened up Balance and I smelled it, I'll never forget the way it made me feel. It instantly made me just go, "Oh my gosh, what is that? I need more of it." So without any training or books or anything else, I opened it up, I put a few drops in my hands, I, instinctively just smelled it, and then I applied it to the front of my chest. And you guys, I carried this essential oil in my pocket for over a year because of the way that it made me feel. And I had not experienced anything like that before. And then we have lavender, which is the Swiss Army knife of essential oils, right? So those two are for rest and stress management. We also have tea tree and on guard, which help to address the immunity. AromaTouch and deep blue, which is for inflammation, and then wild orange and peppermint, which helps to put our bodies back into homeostasis or helps get us kind of that jump start kick. If you've experienced those two together, you'll know what I'm talking about with how it just like awakens up the senses. So the AromaTouch technique was developed by Dr. Hill. Here's a picture of him giving an AromaTouch technique. He had been traveling quite a bit, and he would come home from these trips and be exhausted, and yet he'd want to spend time with his family who missed him so much. So he thought, gosh, he would hand oils to his wife and just say, here, put this one on my back, and they'll put this one on my back and put this one on my back. And her not knowing anything about essential oils, he was able to benefit from the application and then enjoy his family. And he was just going, gosh, what if there was a way where we could teach anyone in your household to be able to give this application without having to be a professional? You guys, now I'm going to be the first to say I absolutely love massages. I love them. I love the way that they make me feel. And I also love Aroma Touch. So with an Aroma Touch, one of the things I love most about it is number one, anybody can do it, right? It's easy for everyone. The other thing I love for is not everybody has a lot of muscles. And so when you're applying these essential oils, the oils are actually going into the body and doing the work. It's just like if you, like when I was talking about balance, and when I open up the lid and I smell it, nobody's telling me what to do or how to do it. It's just like my body knows and it just relaxes and feels super supported. So with this technique, I absolutely love it because anybody can be trained to do this. It is 8 very specific essential oils. Dr. Hill took over a year to develop the technique, and he would just try different things, and then, he kept adjusting it, and then he'd add different ones. And I love the way that he partnered the oils that he did, because when you look at these targeted areas, they really do address anything. And it doesn't matter what you're going through. Bobby can be going through something, Connie can be going through something, Diane can be going through something, and each one of these oils is going to help to support us in that specific way. Now, with the AromaTouch technique, it is meant to follow the directions. There is a set way that you do it. You do a certain amount of strokes. You do, down the back, up the spine, the crown. You do all these different things. And there is a really great training that you can take, and I'll give you the link for that in a minute. Okay, so we're going to go just a little bit deeper into each one of the oils. I did talk already about the stress management too, which is balance and lavender. When you take these two, you pretty much can address almost any situation that's coming up. Everything from, your skin, to calm the skin, or you've got a small child, a baby, somebody who's older. It really doesn't matter. I love the way that these help to promote calmness and just relaxation. And it really does start getting our bodies to relax on the table very first. The next two are tea tree and on guard. Now, tea tree is for anything skin related. And it doesn't matter if it's, on your scalp, in your mouth, on your lips, you've got some kind of a owie somewhere that keeps getting irritated, or it could be, bug bite or whatever. It is the least caustic, which means it's the most gentle of all of the essential oils. And it's extremely beneficial for your skin and your immunity. So it's the anti-oil, anti. So think of anti, fill in the blank. Now we partner that with On Guard, which is one of doTERRA's flagship essential oils, because it is so effective on different things that we might be exposed to boost and support our immunity. It comes in everything from toothpaste to laundry, hand sanitizer, foaming hand wash, throat drops, all kinds of things. And it really is, together with tea tree, you can't find anything probably better as far as supporting your immunity. Now, as we are looking at these essential oils, you'll notice that On Guard is a blend. So it is a blend of a bunch of different essential oils. So they've taken the work out for us. And instead of us having to have, 8 different bottles of essential oil and blending up something, they've put it in their bottle for us. You guys in the chat, let me know how many of you guys use On Guard on a daily basis. I honestly don't think there's a day that I don't use this essential oil. Okay, now we're going to talk about healthy inflammatory response. Whether you work at a desk all day, maybe you have a physical job where you're getting in and out of a truck or up and down off of ladders. Maybe you you're super active and you get outside and hike and camp and do all the things. All of us at some point experience inflammation where our bodies are a little uncomfortable. So what I love about AromaTouch and Deep Blue is AromaTouch is referred to as massage in a bottle. You guys think about, like me, I'm sitting here at my computer, my shoulders are kind of up and I feel the stress and tension across my back because I've been, working all day. There's essential oils in AromaTouch that are blended together for tension and stress. Now, when I first started with essential oils, I'm going, well, I go for massages often, so I don't really need that one. And it just kind of sat in my bag, collecting dust for about, I'm going to say 8 or 9 months. And then it was the holiday season, and I had been under a lot of, holiday happiness. And so my neck got to where I could barely turn my head. And so I'd gone to the chiropractor and they were doing these little electronic things. And I, had gone for a massage and it just wouldn't work itself out. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to try this bottle and just see what happens. So I opened it up and I rubbed it on my shoulder and it was just like magic. I remember feeling it just kind of go, release again. And I was able to start moving my neck a little bit. So what did I do? I carried that oil in my pocket and it's just a drop, right? It's just one drop on my neck. And I was able to take care of that, the tension and the stress. AromaTouch has also got a blend of oils that help with if you know somebody who has swelling or retaining water. I love to be able to put it around the ankles and put it up towards my heart, especially when I'm flying on a plane. If you guys ever been on a plane, if I take my shoes off, I'm always afraid, gosh, if my shoe's going to go back on because there's, some swelling. And so I've learned to put that on before I get on the flight, and it's made a huge difference. Now we're going to partner that essential oil with Deep Blue. Now, Deep Blue it usually comes in a smaller bottle. With our kits, we are getting all of our bottles have 250 drops, which is a really great benefit. Now, with the Deep Blue, it's anytime you would use something for pain. And I have fallen in love with this product. What I always teach people is if you have maybe you've got something chronic, so you might put a drop or two of Deep Blue on that area, and then you can also put over the top the frankincense stick that we talked about earlier, or you could use, um, gosh, I almost said copaiba stick. Wouldn't that be great? Oh, wait, we do have. Well, it is in Deep Blue stick with it. So and then when you put the oil on, it's going to go deeper down into our cells and work. When you put that stick or the lotion up on top of it, it just helps it to stay on the surface longer. You guys, anytime I have any kind of issue where my body is super uncomfortable, I use these two oils. I love them. I think that they smell amazing together. One thing, if you have a lot of issues with your body aches, what I like to do is I'll take a scoop or a cup of like Epsom salt or deep sea salt or something, and I'll put 2 or 3 drops of each of these in it. I'll mix it up really good and then put it in the water. That has been amazing for just a nice hot soak. Okay, then we have the last two, which are wild orange and peppermint. You guys, wild orange, it just takes and adds that little tiny bit of sunshine, but I also love that it helps to um, get our bodies happy and satisfied and gets things moving around. And then you partner that with peppermint. So peppermint is an essential oil that's like the driver. So anytime you have an essential oil, you want it to go a little bit, work faster or work harder, always top it off with peppermint. It's going to give you that really great invigorating benefit. It's also, what I like is it gives you that burst of energy, but it's unlike any other thing, especially stuff that's on the market, is it doesn't give you that energy high and then that drop. It just, bursts and really is amazing. Plus, it's super cooling. One of the things that I also love about the AromaTouch technique is it's safe for anyone in our household. So I've had situations where I've given aroma touches to pregnant women who might have been, dealing with something, and I'll have them sit backward on a chair with their arms up over the back of it, and I'll just apply the oils to the spine and to the back the best I can. I always use the order that doTERRA has taught. I never change that, but I'm not going to have them lay on a bed flat, right? Because it would be super uncomfortable for them. Other things that I know is like pregnancy, when somebody has gone into labor and has their baby, there are a lot of people that I know who will have the mom hold the baby and they'll have the dad apply these same oils. And you guys, when we're working on littles, you can just touch the top of the bottle. Like, you don't have to pour anything out. You just take the lid off, touch your finger on the top of the bottle, and that has enough. And you can always add a coconut oil to it. When I'm working on a lot of kids at a time, instead of, I will dilute all of them into rollers with coconut oil so that they're ready. All I do is I'll roll each oil down their spine in the correct order, and then it's ready, and I can use that for them. You guys take a screenshot. If you haven't already, take a screenshot of this QR code. Or you can just type in training.doterra.com, and it'll take you where you can do a step-by-step AromaTouch certification class taught by Dr. Hill. They are in the progress of updating this program. Back in the good old days, we would travel around as AromaTouch trainers, and we would teach people the AromaTouch. You would get one, give one, and then watch one. And it was really magical. Well, when a couple of years ago, when things changed for the world, and people were no longer to touch like that, they decided that the best thing to do would be to put it online. Now, what they are discovering is once you watch it online, you're still going to want to attend a workshop where you can experience it in person. And make sure, and practice and just introduce it to people. We've done them in so many different ways where we've been camping and we've, cleared off a picnic table and we've had somebody lay down on the table and we've given them AromaTouch. We've had in hospital rooms where, we've been able to give them. Locally, we give them for hospice. And we not only give the person who's transitioning, but we also give an AromaTouch to the caretakers because it just addresses every part of your body. I mean, if you look at the list here, it's like, who wouldn't be able to use an AromaTouch? That is the next question, is how old do you have to be, or who can and get them and who can give them? And, anything that anytime we can get essential oils, not only on our own hands where we're giving them, we're all benefiting. AromaTouch is something that I have given when people are, going through transition. I've given them to people who might have a job interview and they're super nervous, or, can't get the sleep because their mind is whirling. We've given AromaTouches to people who are trying to get, maybe they're healing from something and they just can't do it, as quick as they want to. The thing that I hear a lot, well, not really a lot, but I do hear people say, "Oh, I didn't feel good, so I need to cancel." And it's like, no, this is exactly when you need to come. Like, I'm not worried because I use essential oils, and so I'm constantly boosting my immunity and taking care of myself. And so when somebody, has a cough that they can't get rid of or something, this is a really great time to think of AromaTouch. Okay, now this is fun. How many of you guys would think about giving them to your pets? So we have a couple of gals who years ago, in by Bobby in Nevada. We had one of our leaders who was doing clinics, and they were teaching how to give an AromaTouch technique to horses. You guys, just one of the things I love most about the essential oils is not only can we use them for our family, but that includes our fur friends. And so whenever we're using essential oils on our pets, we want to remember that less is more, and we would treat them the same as us. So if you have a dog, say that is 12 pounds, you would treat it the same as you would a baby. If you have a horse that's, I don't know how much horses weigh, so I'm not even going to guess, but a normal sized horse, you would treat it like a large adult, or in some cases, maybe even a little extra. You would still apply the oils right down the back of their spine, just like we do. I know some people will apply oils around their hoofs, and you can see the picture where somebody had made some jewelry, diffuser jewelry for their horse. I love it. I love that it's safe, it's effective, and they can also benefit. Okay, now that's AromaTouch. Now here we're going to introduce you to Symphony of the Cells. Here's a great website to write down or take a picture of this, truewellness.com. This is where you'll be able to find and connect with Boyd Truman. He's constantly updating his books. He has journals, guides. He actually has like a little pocket guide with kind of like an A to Z guide of essential oils. And it's amazing what he's come up with. So Boyd Truman comes from a musical family. His mom is written a couple of books that are really awesome, that have to do with our bodies keeping score of our emotions. And so I'll post this in the comments after I get the recording up for you guys. But so with Symphony of Cells, it's more targeted. So where everybody and anybody could use an AromaTouch once a week or twice a month or once a month, however often you could get them, with the Symphony of Cells, it's targeted to what the body is angry about. Or if you're maybe, and there's a lot, there's everything from forgiveness to digestion to, getting balanced to all the things. Now, in the front of each book, there's a little code, and you can see this on the bottom left-hand side, where it shows you where to apply the oil. So unlike AromaTouch, it's, certain amount of strokes and you have to put it on, and, all these different things. With this one, it's mainly, get the oil that is recommended, get it out, get it on the place that they tell you to, in the order that they say. Another really great thing with Symphony of the Cells is if you don't have all of the essential oils, in the back of the book, they usually give a chart that you can replace an oil with. If you're like me, I've got every single oil and I'm super grateful for that, but that's not where I started. So he knows that there's times when we may not have everything, and so he will give substitutions. Okay, so here is another just little preview of some of the different protocols that he has in his books. In the middle of the page on the bottom, it has a basic protocol. So if you're just trying to keep things where they are, or you're happy and you're just maintaining, this is a really great one. And you look at, and I need to update this slide because it has frankincense, tea tree, AromaTouch, and peppermint. And just to keep yourself well balanced, this would be really great. What's good about both of these techniques, you guys, is if you are on your own, say you don't have somebody that can apply these oils for you, always remember, go back to the foot. Look at the foot, find the reflex chart, and you're applying the essential oils in the same order to the arch of your foot is where your spine would be. If it says head or neck, well, you can reach it and put it on your head, but I mean, getting it on your spine might be a little difficult, but we always have ways that we can go around that. So I'm going to just look at this first one, the one in the middle. And so step one, it says frankincense. Now the first little picture shows the neck. So that would be, just take your bottle, drop it into your hand, and just rub it down the neck and over across the shoulders. And then you'll take and put your hands together underneath the nose and have the person inhale. Now, when I'm giving Symphony of the Cells, I do have people laying flat on a massage table is the best way. But just like I said, you can kind of get around it if you don't have a massage table. And then you take that same oil, just the residue, and you're putting it on the feet. The second step is carrier oil. So I love fractionated coconut oil because it is scentless. It doesn't go rancid. It's super silky soft. And so then we're just taking the oil, we're putting it in our hands, and then we're going down the spine. The third step is Melissa. So this one shows we're putting it in our hands, we're dropping it on the spine, and we're just going to go across the back with like feathering type motions. Then whatever's left on our hands, we put it underneath their nose, let them smell it, and then the residual goes on their feet, and you just kind of swipe it on the feet. You guys, an AromaTouch will take anywhere from, I'm going to say 35 to 45 minutes. And the Symphony of the Cell can be like 10 or 15 minutes. Just depends on how quick you can get the oils out of the bottle and onto the body. How many drops? That's another thing that people ask all the time. Well, if you ask Boyd, he's like, just start dripping it down the back. You don't, and what we know about essential oils is it doesn't take a lot. And so when I'm doing, if I have a small child, you know, like 5, 6-year-old or something, I may do 1 drop. That's it. If I'm working on my husband or, you know, he's a bigger man, I'm going to say like 6 or 7 drops. Well, what happens if 5 drops comes out? That's okay. You know, I mean, you can't really go wrong with this. We just don't want to use more oil than what's needed. Say Melissa, because Melissa is one of those essential oils that little tiny bottle is worth a whole lot, right? So you may say, oh gosh, I'm only going to use 1 drop. And you can just kind of use your judgment. So you just keep going down and you do each one of those essential oils in the order that it says. And when you're done, you're just done. And it's super simple. People will, you know, different protocols. So we've got lymphatic, digestive, we have a forgiveness one. You can look up, there's a code also. So say you have somebody who is dealing with, I'm just going to throw out a word like respiratory issues. Well, any of these respiratory things, whether it's seasonal allergies or constant sinus stuff, you can look it up and it'll recommend certain protocols for each of those diseases that people are experiencing. Okay, so another question that people ask all the time is, do I really have to put each one of these essential oils on one at a time? Like, I want to make it so easy and so simple. So best result is going to be putting them on one at a time, following those directions. And then you'll see in this book, and I don't know if his new books have the lines where you can journal, but you can also put in there your experience. Like, okay, Connie's coming over. She's, you know, I'm going to use the infectious disease one. And we did it on, say, April 15th. And then we did it again, April 22nd. And we can kind of keep a journal that way or whatever. Or she could say, gosh, I did it twice and that's all I needed it. So, or you can make notes of substitution for oils. So back to all of these essential oils. Is it better to do them one at a time? Yes. Is it okay if we put them all into a roller bottle and use it? Yes. So we created from the infectious disease protocol, the balm. And because I do a lot of blending and a lot of different essential oil rollers, I was able to use some of the training that I've been to come up with a blend, which we call the balm. And I know it might sound strange, but we actually put the oils in the bottle in the order that they're listed on the recipe. And the reason is because if you have lavender, lavender is lavender. But when you have, if you have lemon, lemon is lemon. But when you put lavender with lemon, the chemistry of it changes. So now you have a different blend than if you had each of those by themselves. So as you build this, it's just like this little foundation that we talk a lot about for our, you know, a VMG and everything is like getting the oils in the right order are going to be even more beneficial. So yes, you can do that. So better one at a time, or sorry, better is, you know, using a roller, best is one at a time. So again, we have questions like how old do you have to be? Just remember, when we are diluting, you can use our dilution charts for, we have a great kids class that we teach. You can also go into Good Vibes and just search dilution chart. So if you've got, a small baby, I'm going to dilute the recipe that's on the left-hand side by at least 2/3. Okay, so how often should we have one? What do you guys think? Like, how often do you think giving an aroma touch or applying the essential oils, what would you recommend? So because I'm just going to answer some of those is, if somebody's going through something, we're going to stick with our teaching of less, more often. That's always the best result. And so how often could we? If I've got somebody who's experiencing something that is really trying their body, like it's like going, okay, we're fighting really hard. I may do a application of Symphony of the Cells twice a day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, maybe even once in the evening, making sure that we're always having them, drink a lot of water to help flush whatever's in there. It has to flush and come out. If it's just maintenance type stuff, then I'm saying, gosh, it'd be great to do it once every 3 days. So I have a son who dealt with some a MRSA type thing in his shoulder years ago. And when he was experiencing this attack on his body, I was doing Symphony of the Cells on him 3 times a day. As he started getting better, he was in the hospital for 30 days. So that tells you part of the journey. And then coming home, there was, still boosting his immunity and stuff. I was doing it every day in the hospital. Once he came home, actually, I was doing it twice, at least twice a day in the hospital while he was there. Once he came home, it was once a day. And then pretty soon it was once every other day or 3 days. And then it got to be once a week until his body had bounced back completely. Now, my theory is with all things, we know how little viruses love to hide and stuff, just like if a doctor prescribed you to use your medication till it's gone, and maybe even 4 or 5 days after. That would be my recommendation on something like this infectious disease protocol. um, Now I'm going to address people who are going through treatment. The benefits of just being touched is really big. So when somebody's doing the Aroma Touch or Symphony of the Cells, if they've been going through treatment where their body is already, very stressed out, instead of doing 4 or 5 drops of an essential oil, I might do one. I'm continuing with each one of the like um, each one of the systems in the AromaTouch, but I might use 1 drop of lavender with some coconut oil, and I'm still doing each one of the steps in order that it says, because I don't want to overwhelm their system. I love this. I love that anytime anyone is dealing with anything, we have a solution. Okay, so here's a great resource page for you guys. AromaTouch, you can find different kinds of worksheets and things. Like I said, Symphony of the Cells, you'll be able to find books and worksheets and journals and instruction. Um, TrueWellness.com is where you can get a hold of Boyd Truman. Oil Life and Aroma Tools has a lot of the different supplies. Often people will ask me, where'd you get your belt? Because I have a belt just like a massage table, or not like a massage table. I'd hate to be a table. But I have a belt that holds all of my oils in the order. And so there's a lot to it. But it's so amazing being able to have this to gift to people when we can. And again, go to the training.doterra.com. And once you've completed that training, what's great is you can do it at your own pace. And you'll always have access to go back and watch it again and again and again if you need to. And you're learning from the very best, which is Dr. Hill. Okay, self-care is the new healthcare. You guys, just like we started at the very beginning, we get to learn how to take time for ourselves, to nurture ourselves. If you have the ability to have an AromaTouch or give an AromaTouch or maybe trade with somebody an AromaTouch, I highly recommend it. If you don't have somebody like that, then maybe just take the time to one step at a time, put them down the arch of your foot, maybe schedule a nice hot soak. Give the oils about, I'm going to say like 30 minutes to really work their way in. Anytime you add heat, it's going to just go deeper and you're going to get even more benefit. And so then maybe take a hot soak, and just really be intentional on taking care of ourselves. Now, I am going to talk a little bit about that foundation because not only can we use essential oils to help ourselves get, deal with less irritation in our bodies or get back into that totally balanced place, but then we need to look at our nutrition and our foundational wellness. You guys, in less than 2 minutes in the morning, you can get everything that you need from these three products right here. I 100% love VMG. A couple months ago, we did not a workshop, we did a vendor event and we let people sample this product. And most of them have come back and said, oh my gosh, I love it. I have to get it. Or people who, we had these little packs where people could buy a 5-day supply. Most of those people have come back and said, okay, I really need to have what's in that packet because not only tastes great, but it is amazing in all the different things that it has. So here's a snapshot also of each one of the products. So the PB Restore, which is our pre, pro, and postbiotic, it helps to really help our gut get everything that it needs so that it can work the best way possible. We kind of refer to our gut as a second brain, and I'm going to refer to it as mama. So if mama is happy, everyone else in our body is happy too. We also have our omega, which is way more than just an omega. This is sourced from the Nordic seas, so there's no contaminants, there's no weird residue on it and everything. And it's been so amazing. 100% of the people who have tried it have had good results. It's been incredible for myself and for my family. I love that the capsules are a little bit bigger. One of the challenges that I love to say to people when I'm introducing this to them is, here, go ahead and take a fish. Do you take fish oil is the first question. And people are like, oh yeah, I can't because of the taste, or I burp it up or whatever. So my next challenge to them is, okay, I want you to take this pill, put it in your mouth and pop it open. And they're like, no way, you're kidding. Like, I'm not. And I'm like, here, I'll do it. And so I'll do it. And then they'll do it. And they're like, wow, that actually tastes like orange. You guys, if somebody is eating a fish oil product that tastes fishy, it's because it's rancid. So it really is important that we are able to get this great product in our body. And I feel like doTERRA with this line has just gone way above. I mean, LLV was great. And I know people who still use it, but I'm going to say this is leaps and bounds above that. And then, of course, the VMG, which is over 90 different fruits, vegetables, vitamins, and minerals that even if you lined up all this fruit in front of us, we could not possibly ingest all of it to get the benefit. I know that there's a lot of studies out there that says something like, to get the benefit of orange, you'd have to eat like 7 or 8 of them or something like that. And I just rather mix this up into a cute little shaker bottle. So another thing that doTERRA has done, and I love that they reward us for, purchasing or investing in our health. And when we're investing in our health, they know that it can be expensive or it can be pricey. But back to you have 1,000 dreams until you don't have your health, and then you have one. And I want you to just kind of think about that and how are we taking care of ourselves today? So when you buy one of the foundational wellness bundles, you can find them. Either the person who invited you here can show them to you, or you can find them on your website. When you buy the bundle for the first time, you get this great little shaker bottle and a 5 ml bottle of peppermint. And then from there, they have their rewards program where I absolutely love the rewards program because Number one, why would you ever pay retail? Rewards helps us buy it at wholesale. We're buying it at least 25% off. Anytime you're purchasing in a bundle, it is below the wholesale price. We also can get free shipping. We earn product points, which turn into dollars, and you start at 10% and go all the way up to 30% back. And you can cancel or customize that order at any time. But there's a bonus. So if you're like me and you're reaching for these products every single month, I love that number one, they're being shipped directly to my house. I don't have to worry about going to the store and forgetting part of it. But you can also receive one free oil every month. What doTERRA has done is they have looked at what are the most reordered essential oils, and they're putting them into our household so that we are able to use them and we get them as a bonus as a free gift. This month, you just missed it. Or if you buy the rewards, if you get a bundle anytime, you can still get that free frankincense this month. It depends on when you're watching this replay, but there's always a free product. And wait, it gets even better. So what's in it for you? So if you're someone like me, I have decided years ago that I wanted to be able to help people get essential oils, not only get educated, but be able to purchase them at the very best price. And I wanted to be able to travel around. I know we've got people on here from Winnemucca, we've got people on here from Missouri, we've got people here from Wyoming, and it's so much fun being able to travel and meet people from all over. But there are some of you that might just say, you know what, I don't want to do this as a business. How do I tell my friends? And so this is a refer a friend. When you open up your office to order, there'll be this little blue link, which is up on the left-hand side, where you just hit that little blue thing that says copy. And you hit that and you send that in a text and an email. You can message it through Messenger. And when somebody goes to buy something that you love. So Connie, if you were somebody who's just going, everybody I know needs to have fill in the blank, deep blue stick, then you could take that and you could share it with everyone you know, and they log in and that order will go to you and you will be able to get bonus points from it. It's a great way to share. I would rather support the person who told me about it than just miscellaneous go out and find something. You guys, I want to say kudos and thank you so much for joining us. I know that there's a lot of things that you could be doing tonight, and you've spent your night with us learning how to empower yourself. What do you reach for when you run into somebody who might be struggling or having a bad day, or just going through something really tough? Well, guess what? Now we know with AromaTouch, we have a solution. We know that with Symphony of the Cells, we have something that we can do, and we don't have to be, trained professionals or go through years of schooling to be able to do this. That was Dr. Hill's most important goal, was that anyone could learn how to give this technique. I love it. I love giving them and I love getting them. If you guys want to stay connected, go ahead and text the word class reminders to the phone number 534-429-5392. What I love about this texting service is I get a reminder like 10 or 15 minutes before. It's got the link, you hit it, and then the day after we host a class, you will get the recording. So you'd be able to use that to share with to watch it again, or to be able to share with other people. Next week, mark your calendars. We are going to be talking about how to keep your home healthy and happy, and by living toxic free. All right, you guys. So we wanted to say thank you for everyone who joined us tonight. And for those who are here live, we're going to continue on with some question and answers and some testimonials. And so if you guys are interested in doing that, if you're watching the replay, make sure you join us for our live classes. Thanks, you guys. Okay, I gotta